Earth, the blue cradle, was now a distant memory, a pale and wounded specter. The Great War, the final one, had not ended with a treaty, but with a banishment. The losers, the deposed strategists, the radical ideologues, and, most dangerous of all, the scientists whose minds had forged the weapons that nearly destroyed the world, were condemned to exile. Their destination? Mars. It was not a colony. It was a prison, a cold, radioactive, red desert where survival was a daily punishment. The first wave, 3,000 souls branded as political and intellectual scum, landed under the oppressive surveillance of the Terran Security Corporation, TSC. They were given prefabricated habitat modules, limited supplies, and the certainty that they would never see the blue sky again.
Colonel Alistair Vance, one of the architects of the defeated faction, looked out at the arid landscape through his helmet's visor. He didn't see desolation, but a blank canvas. Beside him, Dr. Elara Kaelen, a neuroscientist whose research into consciousness simulation had been deemed an existential threat by Earth's New Order, adjusted her communicator.
The Great Exile. They think they've buried us.
They gave us what we needed, Colonel. A place where Earth cannot touch us, where their rules don't apply. The first years were a hell of deprivation and conflict. Earth's social hierarchy unraveled under the pressure of survival. The politicians, accustomed to giving orders, found that the currency of trade was the ability to fix an air filter or optimize water production. The scientists, once isolated in their labs, became the new leaders. Elara Kaelen emerged as the central figure. She was not a charismatic leader, but a pragmatic and relentless mind. She organized the dissidents not by ideology, but by competence. Engineers, biohackers, energy specialists, each had a vital role. The first major project was the Prometheus Dome, a geodesic dome built with local materials and powered by miniaturized fusion reactors smuggled in secretly. Inside, they created a microclimate, a bubble of breathable air and fertile soil. It wasn't Earth, but it was theirs. The TSC, satisfied with the exiles' apparent misery, reduced its surveillance. They saw Mars as an expensive but effective cemetery. This complacency was Earth's first fatal mistake.
20 years passed. The settlement, now called New Carthage, was no longer a prison, but a subterranean interconnected city, pulsing with a technology Earth had banned out of fear. The population had grown, not just in number, but in sophistication. The children of New Carthage had never seen the sun without the protection of a dome. To them, Earth was a legend, and Mars their home. New Carthage's technology was a fusion of forbidden science. The dissident scientists, free from ethical and political restrictions, had made leaps in areas like artificial intelligence, genetic engineering, and warp drive propulsion. The heart of the city was the Silicon Core, a quantum supercomputer designed by Elara Kaelen. The core didn't just manage New Carthage's infrastructure, it processed surveillance data from Earth, collected by a network of discrete spy satellites launched in secret.
In an austere conference room, lit by lights that mimicked the terrestrial twilight, the New Carthage Council convened. Elara, now with graying hair and even more penetrating eyes, presided. The core confirms it. Earth is stagnant. The new order, based on post-war stability, has stifled innovation. They fear progress. They fear us. Vance, now a senior strategist, his face marked by the decades on Mars. Fear is a weapon, and they gave us the time we needed to forge our own. The focus of the discussion was Project Exodus. It was no longer about survival, but about returning. Chief Scientist Dr. Jian Li, "The warp propulsion is ready. It's not faster than light, but it's fast enough to avoid detection by terrestrial radar. The problem is defense. Earth's orbit is protected by a network of electromagnetic pulse satellites.
Their defense is based on 20-year-old technology. The core has the solution. We need a vector, something that can penetrate the network without being recognized." It was then that Vance presented the most daring and cruel idea. "We will not send a war fleet. We will send a ghost. We will use the very technology that exiled us." The Ghost was the ship Erebus, built in secret in the volcanic caverns of Tharsis. It was powered by an antimatter engine and coated with a material that rendered it invisible to terrestrial sensors. But its true weapon was not the engine, but its payload. The payload was the Silent Virus, an autonomous artificial intelligence program developed by Elara Kaelen. It was capable of infiltrating any computer network, replicating itself, and, crucially, seizing control of defense systems. Its objective? To disable the EMP satellite network and blind Earth.
The ship Erebus would be piloted by a single individual, Kaelen. She had insisted on it. "Vance, it's an unacceptable risk, Elara. You are the brain of New Carthage." "Elara, and you are the muscle, Alistair. If I fail, you assume command. But the silent virus can only be activated manually. I need to be there. I need to see Earth again." The farewell was silent under the faint light of New Carthage. Aboard the Erebus, Elara made her final transmission to the Council. "They called us criminals. They called us dissidents. They called us exiles. But they forgot what it means to be a scientist. It means that when confronted with the end, you do not surrender. You evolve." The Erebus left Mars' orbit, silent as a shadow. The journey took 3 months, a time of solitude and calculation.
Elara monitored Earth, observing the complacency, the slow decay of a civilization that had chosen safety over freedom. As it approached Earth's orbit, the Erebus was detected, not as a ship, but as an insignificant gravitational anomaly. The TSC sent a single interceptor to investigate. Elara did not react. She waited for the interceptor to draw near, trusting in the Erebus's invisibility. "You have become predictable, Earth. Fear kills creativity." When the interceptor was just 1,000 kilometers away, Elara activated the Silent Virus. The program spread like a digital wildfire. Within seconds, the terrestrial interceptor went silent. Within minutes, Earth's entire network of electromagnetic pulse satellites was disabled. Alert lights flashed red in the TSC's command centers, but it was too late. Earth was blind. The news of the security breach reached New Carthage in less than an hour. The council convened, and Vance assumed the role of fleet commander. The New Carthage fleet was not large, but it was composed of fast warships, armed with directed energy technology Earth hadn't even dreamed of. The objective was not destruction, but reclamation. The descent was swift and brutal. The New Carthage fleet positioned itself over Earth's main centers of power, cities that had become fortresses of bureaucracy and control. Vance, aboard the flagship Phoenix, sent a transmission to the entire planet. His voice, amplified across all communication channels, was calm yet laden with authority. "Vance, citizens of Earth, for 20 years we were called exiles. For 20 years you lived under an illusion of peace,
while your leaders suffocated the human spirit. We, the criminals, the dissidents, the banished, have brought the future back to you.
Earth's resistance was crushed within hours. Their weapons were obsolete, their defense systems inoperative. The war was not fought with bombs, but with technological superiority and the relentless determination of those who had built a civilization from nothing. Elara Kaelen, aboard the Erebus, landed silently near the old TSC command center, now in ruins. She exited the ship, breathing the earthly air, an air that smelled of rain and dust, but also of freedom. She looked at the sky. It was blue. Vance found her. It is done, Elara. Earth is ours. What do we do now? Elara looked toward the horizon, where the city lights were beginning to flicker on under the new regime. We did not come to rule, Alistair. We came to evolve. Earth stagnated. Mars taught us that progress is the only form of survival. We will rebuild, but this time without fear. The new age is not one of exile, but of human ascension. The exile was over. The history of humanity, which seemed to have reached its end on Earth, was beginning again, forged in the fire and silicon of the Red Planet. The future was no longer blue, but a shade of deep red, the color of determination and vengeance.